Yesterday, Americans watched in astonishment as a pro-Trump mob stormed the U.S. Capitol as Congress was working to certify Joe Biden's presidential win. It took hours for police to get control of the situation and secure the Capitol. The question on all of our minds now, how was this allowed to happen? Here to talk about this is Spencer Coursen, a threat management expert with Coursen Security Group here in Austin. He is also the author of the soon-to-be-released book, The Safety Trap, a security expert's secrets for staying safe in a dangerous world. So appropriate considering the situation. Spencer, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here.
So tonight we've learned the feds offered backup 3 days prior to and during this insurrection, and they were essentially told no thanks by the Capitol Police Chief. Spencer, from a security standpoint, who's at fault here and what should law enforcement have expected yesterday?
Well, if that's true, the chief of the Capitol Police has a very heavy burden to bear. From my personal experience, on every protective detail I have ever been on, the most dangerous times were always when the event was winding down, when the window of opportunity for someone to try to do something was getting smaller and smaller with each passing moment. And here in this country, for the past 4 years, tensions have been just at an all-time high. I mean, how many times have we seen, the water almost boiled over? What happened yesterday wasn't unlikely. It was inevitable. And for those charged with ensuring the safety of the Capitol, I mean, the fault ultimately lies with them.
A lot of people want to know, how did this mob get past a perimeter set up by law enforcement? There are reports that some Capitol Police retreated.
Look, I mean, hindsight is always 20/20. But from a protective strategy point of view, the best time to call for reinforcement is before you retreat, not after you have done so. I don't know who made that decision. I don't know why that decision was made. But what I do know is that everyone who has ever protected anyone knows the importance of keeping a very wide divide between the threat and the people you're trying to keep safe. Because by bringing them close to your protectees, you are not only putting yourself at a tactical disadvantage, but you are putting those you are trying to keep safe more at risk.
Yesterday exposed some big security flaws. If these regular folks could push past police, what is to stop agents of a foreign government or terrorists, foreign or domestic, from getting through?
Well, I think whether it was what we saw yesterday or whether it's someone like streaming across a football field, successful stunts are almost always the teaching tools of terror. The threats we face today have been evolving for 100 years. But the safeguards that we have in place to mitigate those risks have ultimately become stagnant. And that needs to change. We really need to take a good hard look at the protective strategies we're employing and making sure that aperture is more finely focused for today's concerns.
If there is a silver lining to this threat to democracy, what is it and what needs to happen moving forward?
I think the number one silver lining in this instance is that it raises everyone's awareness and their need to be prepared. Safety ultimately starts with us as individuals, knowing who we are. Pete Walker has this great book called Complex PTSD, From Surviving to Thriving. Which of the 4 F's are you? Fight, flight, fawn, or freeze? How we are conditioned as a child has a direct impact on our survivability. So if you are a fawn or a freeze, you really are at a higher risk of reacting like a victim. So know who you are, be prepared to act, because ultimately awareness plus preparation equals safety.
All right. We are out of time. Spencer Coursen, thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise with us tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.